again, these two issues will take a long time for the Chinese leader really can work out a way as American. China never going to be 100% follow American approach in religious freedom and human rights.
They are a different country.
Yeah.
And perhaps her previous criticism on the issue will give her legitimacy to criticize them with the Congress will support her for that, but she has the relationships with China to be able to work with them while still working with a critical American Congress.
You remember that she has a book published several years ago, which was translated in Chinese. It was a bestseller in China. Mrs. Clinton's book in China, published in Chinese language, a lot of young people read her book. So a lot of people are familiar with her background and her achievements.
That would definitely serve us well.
Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier the recent nomination of Jon Huntsman, the Utah governor, for the position of ambassador to China. And many have said that this nomination is a shrewd political calculation on Obama's side. He was a month away from forming a political action committee for a 2012 Republican presidential run. However, as you mentioned, Huntsman does have the skills. He speaks Mandarin, he served as ambassador in Singapore, was deputy trade representative. So we can say that it was a prudent nomination as well for our foreign relations. Can you take a moment, though, assuming he's confirmed, to speak to what skills and qualities you would like to see him use as ambassador?
I think that this is a very interesting question. I think that he will be confirmed by the Senate because, after all, he's Republican.
It shouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be a problem. The Republican cannot deny the Republican candidate as ambassador to China. And plus, Governor Huntsman is very, very talented and capable, smart businessman, governor, and diplomat. Like you said, he served as the ambassador. I think he's serving ambassador in Singapore, and deputy trade representative, a short time in the deputy secretary of state. And so he is has a long experience for almost 15, 20 years, foreign policy experience. And he will be a very knowledgeable person about China. He worked as a woman missionary in Taiwan, which is also helpful for him to learn the Chinese, Mandarin in Chinese from Taiwan. And again, he is a very successful businessman, a very, very important business family in Utah. And he has a company in Shanghai. And he is already well known in China. He goes to China on a regular basis. And he will be a very important addition to Obama's foreign policy team. And we were talking about the other day, and so far we have not seen the members of the top Chinese member in Obama administration China team. Now we have a Secretary of State, very well informed about China, General Jim Jones, NSC advisor, well respected person, and now we have a new ambassador, also very knowledgeable person about China, and this is a good team. And plus Obama, and he probably would let him to, if not a free hand, he delegated him to do the job he thinks the best interest for China and United States. He said this is kind of win-win situation for U.S. and China. And maybe I painted too much a rosy picture, but I think this is something China was very happy. After the announcement of his nomination, and the Chinese foreign ministry already think this is a very positive, just positive appointment for as a new ambassador to China, because after the other ambassador Clark Wren stepped down on January 20th, we have no ambassador for more than 3 months. That this will be a great news for Chinese people and also for American people.
Yes, and being welcomed by the Chinese government will, aid him in his ability to represent American interests in China. Speaking of the nomination and of the skills required of an ambassador, it would be a timely opportunity to reflect upon the skills and the traits that have made successful ambassadors since relations were normalized, beginning with our liaison offices and proceeding on to our very first official ambassadors in China after normalization. Do you see a common skill set or qualities?
Yeah, I think this is, like I said earlier, the appointment of Governor Huntsman to be the next ambassador is not only a surprise choice by many people, but he also an excellent choice, excellent selection, because American and China scholars and think tank people been speculating who will be our next ambassador, and so many names popping up. And I was talking to myself. I said they're all nice people, but they are not really qualified. But this time, I said this is qualified, not only maybe very well qualified person to be next ambassador. Now let's talk about ambassadors. Why I think he's a good ambassador, good qualification for ambassador. I think I know almost every American ambassador in China. Some of them I know very well, some of them just a casual acquaintance. The first envoy American ambassador sent to China in 1973 was Ambassador David Bruce. Ambassador Bruce was considered dean of American diplomat. He was the ambassador to France in 1970s, and he was a good friend of President Nixon. Nixon, the historical trip to China in 1972, ended up signing the Shanghai Communique, which had opened up a relation with China. And he needed somebody that he can trust, has the diplomatic skill, has the respect of international diplomatic community, and David Bruce was the best choice, a special envoy type person, because he wanted to make sure, Nixon wanted to make sure this person would be opening up a very smooth relationship with China. It turned out to be, she was correct, but he stayed there for 2 years and returned to the United States, and later on succeeded by George H.W. Bush, another high-powered appointee.
With direct access to the president?
With direct access to the president, and he was a former congressman, former ambassador to the United Nations, and a very respected politician and member of Congress and from Texas. And this is something that very good for China and for the United States. And then later on, Jimmy Carter picked a liaison chief. Another high-power appointee was Ambassador Leonard Woodcock, UAW's president. I had the opportunity to meet him in his office at that time, they didn't call it embassy yet, called it the liaison office, about how to develop a good U.S.-China relations. He told me his goal was to try to normalize diplomatic relations with China.
Successfully achieved.
And this is another example. If we pick a good envoy, many things can be achieved. Now later on, we had career diplomats. Sometimes it didn't work out as smooth as the political appointee. The political appointees like Woodcock, Bruce, and Bush, they have access directly to the White House and the Secretary of State. That's important. When you work with China on foreign policies, and then sometimes you do have a lot of some kind of crisis coming up. If you cannot wait for go through the normal channel that take days through the bureaucratic channels, I think a case in point is in 1989.